guys, Ariel over here at Nyth. It is basically the end of January, and I am working on garden planning. You can see outside the windows it's still very much snowy and cold, and nothing is going to be planted here outside anyway for quite a few months. This is January. I think maybe the earliest I've ever planted in the ground outside here is, so you got February, March, April, maybe sometime in May for a few things, but a lot of things not really until June. So we've got at least 4 months before anything is going to be planted. But it's just been kind of a gray, not very inspiring day outside, and I have learned that if I wait till I need to order seeds, because almost the whole rest of the country is so much warmer and people are planting things much earlier than me, I tend to not always be able to get some of the seeds that I want. So I try to get my order done earlier. Earlier than this wouldn't have been a problem either, but I didn't get there. So I've got, if you guys have been following my channel for a little bit, I live here in a tiny house. I live off-grid, as in no physical connection to any public utilities. I'm in the mountains. I'm in a growing zone 3, and there is the possibility of frost and or snow any day of the summer. So growing things is a challenge, but I like to garden, and I love growing as much of my own food as possible. Got a few photos of past gardens here. But basically I've got 10 long beds. The reason I've got long beds is that shape works for the frost covers I have, which does help a little bit sometimes protect things from frost. I've just done my frost covers. You've probably seen them in some pictures and stuff in the past with a heavy frost cloth strip unrolled over hoops, and one long edge of the frost cloth is tacked down with landscape stakes. The other edge is actually screwed onto a long PVC pipe, so I can roll it up, roll it back over, and then for the winter I can roll it all up onto the pipe and store my pipes very neatly and simply. And the hoops, because people ask me about that, the metal hoop that the frost cloth rests on, it's actually something called ladder mesh. Ladder, like you climb up, and it's from the concrete masonry industry. You would use it between, for some things apparently, for laying between layers of blocks. But basically it's got 2 long wires going this way, and then every several feet there's a little, bar in between. But it's a pretty sturdy, heavy-duty wire, but you can flex it. So I just stick 2 of the ends in the ground, bend it over, stick the other 2 ends in. That's my hoop. Pull them out for the winter and put them back in the spring. So my garden is planned out as my long beds. That was the history of why it's in long beds instead of some other shape. It's just so that I can cover it. I've got 10 long beds. Basically I get to plan what I'm putting in 9 of them, because I've got the 10th one is perennial stuff. I've got rhubarb, horseradish, asparagus, and strawberry plants in there. So I don't change anything with those. They're just there every year getting bigger. But the other 9, I kind of move things around a little bit. Because of my hoop shape, I tend to plant things in kind of long, not individual rows, but long stripes down the length of the bed. And because of the hoop shape, I try to plant it so my tallest stuff is the middle stripe, and then I've got shorter growing plants on the 2 edges. So that's a little bit what's behind it. I've kind of got, show you guys a close-up of this then, a plan of what seems to work well as far as that, with the heights of the veggies and all that. So I don't really move around a whole lot of those things. Like I'll plant cabbage on the edges with potatoes in the middle in one bed and so on. I just move whether it's in bed 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. and just kind of rotate. So I don't really have to do a whole lot more planning on that. So I've got a basic plan of what I do, and then every year I usually go through and make, where's mine for last year? And I've got like a actual garden where I put down exactly where in the bed I put which varieties, just in case I want to reference how particular ones did. Because if I've got cabbage down a whole row, it's not necessarily the same variety of cabbage. I might have 2 or 3 different kinds of cabbage in there, and if I see, well, this one did 10 times better than all the rest, I want to be able to go back and know later what it was, because I think I will remember and I find that I do not. So I make myself notes. But I also save seeds. I don't save a whole lot of my own seeds. The only reason I don't is because my growing season is so short. Most of my stuff barely has time to produce a flower or a fruit or whatever it is, and definitely not time to mature the whole way and produce a mature seed. So if it wasn't for that, I would save more of my own seeds. The only ones I've been able to reliably save, this is bok choy and pak choy seeds. It's a mix, and they do tend to mature in time that I can keep them. But other than that, I've got a whole bunch of seeds. Now, using seeds from a previous year is probably controversial for some gardeners. I've never had a problem with it. I do keep these seeds in the freezer from when I'm done planting until the whole next year when I go to plant again. Just helps keep them from getting moist or hot or any of that stuff. It does seem to work. I've never noticed any significant difference in the germination rate between a seed pack I bought that year and one that I had some left of the year before. So to save money, I just use my ones from the year before. So I always just have to go through and see what I have from the year before and what I need to get some more of. But this is my little seed box. I've got a few other odds and ends of seeds in here that are flower seeds, and I'm not worried about those right now. Those are usually ones that are given to me by somebody or that I otherwise got for free, because I kind of have a rule about not being allowed to spend money on flowers. I can do free flowers. And then I usually just go through my pile here and try to sort out. I think I mostly kept this sorted by kind of things. I've got various, sorted until I drop it, various greens things. Then I've got all these. I should just give these away to somebody. Seed companies like to throw in free seeds with your order, which is terrific, except they usually send me things that will not grow here. So I've got pepper seeds, which I've never done anything with. Cannot grow peppers here. It's way too cold. So they're just there because I guess I felt bad throwing them out and I didn't have any use for them. Got beet seeds. Oh yeah, they like to send it free tomato seeds as well. Those are all packs of tomato seeds. Tomato seeds will not grow here unless you have a greenhouse. More beets, cabbages, and then I got some here that a friend gave me that was leftover because they did not like replanting anything that was not fresh from that year. So I've got radishes. I don't know why I put that one back in there. That one's empty. And, oh yeah, more peppers and tomatoes. They should have been in that pile. We'll have to do a seed giveaway for people who are actually capable of growing peppers and tomatoes in their climate. So this is just my winter dreaming about what I'm going to do next year, and getting my stuff ordered so that I'll actually have it. Cucumber plant. Cucumbers I can often grow here. Depends a little bit on the year. Some years it gets too cold and they freeze. Some years they do very well. Got kales. They can go with the other greens. So you'll see here in just a second. That's peas and beans. Okay. So now I've got the things, if I just reference my little garden plan here, the things that I need to have for sure are chard. I love chard, grows really well here. I eat a lot of it. Grows all summer long, even till well after frost, and it's really pretty. I've got a little bit of 2 varieties of chard left, so I'm probably going to get one more pack of some kind of chard seed because I know I'm going to plant all of those for sure. So my shopping list for seeds says I need 1 pack of chard seeds. Then I need some peas. I've got, these are a big seed, so you can see these bags are heavier than a lot. Got some varieties there. Again, I'm probably going to get one more pea variety because I do like peas. Again, they're a little spotty in how they do here. Depends a little on the year. Where I grew up in Pennsylvania, peas were something that got planted in February. It was a super early spring crop because they like cool weather. Here, peas are an all-summer crop, and if you can get them to actually mature before it freezes at the end of the summer, that is exciting. But I really like fresh peas. And if I can't get them mature, I do eat pea shoots and pea tendrils and pea flowers, which all taste like peas, and you can get those in a much shorter growing season. So I do get something from them. Beets. I absolutely love beets. I eat tons of beets, eat beet greens. I grow all colors of beets, various kinds of reds, the golden beets, and the pink and white, like candy cane, candy striped beets. So I've got several varieties of dark red ones, and a little bit of gold and a little bit of candy stripe. So I probably need one each of all three varieties because I do plant a lot of beets. And then I can them, pickle them, and have them all winter long. I really, really like beets. Radishes. I don't love radishes, I'll be honest. I eat them because I think they're good for me, they're nutritious, and they grow really well in a cold climate and grow really rapidly. But I've got a pretty good selection of various radish varieties left here. So I don't think I'm going to order any radishes this year. I'm going to say that's good to go. Kales. Kale is another one that very reliably does really well here. Super cold hardy. Kale doesn't freeze till it's like in the single digits. I pick kale till well after frost. And I do like a lot of varieties of kale. I've got a little bit of purple and blue curled kale left. So, but there doesn't feel like a whole lot of seeds in there, so I'm probably going to get one more pack of some other kale variety. Again, just because that is such a reliable veggie that I can grow. Cucumbers. Like I mentioned, cucumbers sometimes grow well, sometimes do not. Depends a lot on the year. They do not handle being frosted, so some summers I get a lot if you can get a whole stretch of enough days in a row with no frost, and some I get none at all. But I like cucumbers, I like pickles, so I always try to grow them. Got a little bit of seed left of two varieties, so I'm probably going to buy a couple more packs of some cucumbers. What's next in my planting list? Potatoes. I do plant a lot of, but I'm not buying potato seeds. I do get seed potatoes, but I can get them from somebody locally here because they're fairly big and bulky, so I'm not ordering seed packs of them, so I'm not worried about that. Cabbages, I do have some seeds here, but I have learned over the years that I don't get very good production at all with starting them myself. I don't have enough space to start them and keep them growing evenly with enough light inside. And there's just not a long enough growing season outside, so I seem to get the best cabbage production when I just go to the local greenhouse and buy some little cabbage plant starts. So I've got some seeds there. I might try starting a few from seed, but I'm not going to get any more seeds because it's just not productive enough for me. Even when I buy plants to start, I usually get cabbage heads somewhere between, this would be a good size one, all the way down to like little heads like that. Again, just because my growing season is not very long. Broccoli and cauliflower are kind of in the same category there. What is next? Potatoes. Beans, they're a little bit like peas. If you get some really short growing varieties of beans, sometimes I have gotten beans, other years I have not. But I've got a few different packs left there, and since they don't do that well, I'm going to say that is... or they don't do that well reliably. I'm going to say that's enough. I don't need more bean seeds. Squashes. I can't grow winter squashes, which is really sad because I love, butternuts and acorns and Hubbards and all those kinds of squashes. Almost all of them need growing seasons over 100 days. I'm lucky if I get growing seasons of 50 days. So no way can I grow them. But summer squashes, like the ones that look like zucchinis, the yellow soft ones, I can sometimes grow them, much like zucchini and cucumbers. It depends on the year, but I have had very good yields some years, so I always plant some. So I've got, oh, that was more cabbage that should have been in with my cabbage pile. I only have a tiny bit of one variety of summer squash left. So I'm going to definitely be getting several varieties of seeds. Part of the reason I always do so many varieties is it's fun. It's fun to see the different shapes and colors. I like the nutrition from various colors. Why grow just orange carrots if you can grow a whole rainbow of carrots? Why grow just green kale if you could have purple kale and red kale and blue kale? And it gives me some more variety in case something happens to, as far as weather or pests or something that's particularly tough for one variety one year, then I've got to back up in some other options and hopefully we'll still get some food. So, I definitely need squashes. Onions, I've still got some onion seed. If I start it from seed, I found I get basically spring onions by the end of fall. And so I usually do start some from seed because I do like the spring onions, and then I do buy some onion sets, kind of like the cabbages, just so I can get some bigger bulb onions because I don't have a long enough growing season to do that here. But I don't think I need any more onion seed. Then got garlic on the list. If you guys find my garlic video from planting that last year, that's already planted way before the winter started, so I've got that off my list. Carrots. I planted all of my carrots except for the last few parsnips last year, and carrots generally do very well for me. And again, I do quite a few varieties of carrots. Last year I had orange, purple on the outside with orange inside, purple the whole way through, lavender, pink, and yellow carrots. And so that's just fun. I don't like grocery store carrots very much at all. They taste bland and flavorless, but a good carrot from the garden has just amazing flavor. They're so nutritious, so I do grow a lot of carrots. So I definitely need more carrot seeds because I planted all of mine last year. And then I'm down to my other little greens. I always plant some lettuce. That actually doesn't go in the garden. It goes in my planter boxes behind the house here because at my elevation, I'm a little over 6,000 feet above sea level. The sun is so intense that I found that if you plant lettuce in direct sun, it will actually sunburn. The leaves will fry and turn yellow or brown. It seems to grow very well here in full shade. There is no direct sun back there up against the house ever, and it does really well. So I've got some lettuce, some spinach. That's just a green lettuce. Again, I like growing varieties. I like, red ones, curly ones, flat ones. So I'm going to get a couple more lettuce seeds. And then I've got a few other fun ones. I've got like some Dutch corn salad greens, escarole, purslane, and tatsoi. I think that's an Asian word that I'm sure I'm mispronouncing. And don't turn your seed pack upside down from the opened end and make a mess on your couch. So that is my list of the seeds that I need that I don't have enough left of or wasn't able to save. And if you're going to save seeds, probably most of you know this, but if you're new to gardening, you might not. You do have to have an open pollinated or heirloom variety. If you grow a hybrid variety of seed and then you save the seeds, it'll probably grow something. If you grow a hybrid variety of corn and then save seeds and plant it, you will get some kind of corn, but you will probably not get at all what you were expecting or anticipating the previous year's crop being like. So if you're going to save seeds, you do need a seed that is heirloom or open pollinated, so it's going to breed true to that type. So now I get most of my seeds when I got to buy them from Baker Creek Seeds. They're a great company, been in business a long time. I'm sure there's other great companies around. If you've got a little local company that does stuff where you are, by all means support them. There's just not enough seed growing and gardening going on in my area to have that. So I can reliably order from them and find what I want. Plus, it's just like fun shopping to look through their catalog and dream about things that I either can or can't grow. Like sweet potatoes, I'd love to grow sweet potatoes. I can't. Again, they need a long growing season and a consistent warm temperature. They need the dirt to stay consistently warm. That just does not happen here. Someday, hopefully at my new place, I will be able to grow potatoes. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, if you've been following along, yes, I am planning to garden here this summer still, I believe, because my other place is too distant to be able to... I plan to do some trips back and forth and getting some infrastructure set up, but it's too distant to be able to manage a veggie garden there when I'm not there full time yet. But one day, there'll be sweet potatoes there. So I can't grow sweet potatoes. Makes seed shopping really easy. I get to skip whole big sections. I concluded I had enough bean seeds. Beets, I need to pick some beets out. And I'm not going to, because I like to read all the descriptions and dream about things, not going to make you watch that. So I need to pick out some beets. I'm not buying any more cabbage or cauliflower seeds. I'm probably going to buy just about every variety of carrot seed they have. Can't grow sweet corn at all. Again, it needs a long growing season, so I can skip the whole corn section and all those pretty things to dream about. I can grow some cucumbers, and when I'm looking through this, most seed catalogs, whatever you use, but definitely this one, will usually note the growing time. So I'm just looking at one page of cucumber seeds, and this one says 55 days, this one says 60 days, this one says 60 days. This is a lot of how I do my picking, and there's more pages and pages of cucumbers. But I'm seeing everything from 50 up to 75 days. I am going to always pick all the shortest day ones. If it'll grow in 50 days, I'm not going to try to grow a 75 day one, because a 50-day variety here is already a gamble. So that's how I make my choices. Instead of looking at that and thinking, oh, this one looks cool or this one looks cool, it's pretty much based on the growing season. The faster they grow, the better. Can't really grow eggplants. They need a long season. Can't grow South American fruits. Yep, those are tropical things that don't do here. Strawberries I already have. All the gourds and stuff I can't do. They need a long growing season. Got various greens here. I am going to need to pick some more of those out. So I do need a few more. And lettuces and kales and so on. Melons, like watermelons, cantaloupe, can't do it all. So I skip that whole section, sadly. Okra, can't do it all. Onions, I don't need anymore. Peas, I'm going to need to pick one out to grow. Peppers, I cannot do it all, like I said. And there's pages and pages of such pretty, gorgeous, enticing looking peppers. Radishes, there's a lot of varieties, but I have enough of those. I don't need any more seed. Summer squashes, I'm going to have to pick out a couple of these. And again, just like the cucumbers, it's basically based on growing days. When I look at a page and this one says 70 days, this one says 58 days, that one says 49 days, I'm going to be trying the 49-day one. And I grew them last year. They did fairly well. Then you've got all the squashes and pumpkins, which, like I said, I'd love to grow but can't. Swiss chards, I always grow some of those. And then the tomato section in just about any seed catalog is like the longest section there is. They're gorgeous, and I can't grow any of them. Same for watermelons. And then we get into herbs and stuff, and I have most of the herbs I need. Mints and thymes and all of that. And then the back end of the catalog is mostly flowers. And like I said, I've got a little rule about spending money on flowers. I can spend money on useful things and pretty things I enjoy, but I have flowers here every year. If you guys have seen the photos, you know there's flowers around, but I have to, for the most part, be able to get them for free or starts from somebody else or seeds from somebody else or something like that. So I'm going to go through there and just pick my couple varieties of seeds I need to order, get them ordered. Every now and then, if there's something in particular I want that I can't find at Baker Creek, I will sometimes shop Territorial Seed Company. They have a broader range. They have not just heirloom stuff. They've got also hybrid stuff and so on. So when picking a seed from them, they're still good seeds and they're a good company and they're certainly going to grow good stuff, but you're not going to know for sure unless you're paying attention. They've got them all marked, but you don't know for sure by just flipping open any random page and picking something that it's a open pollinated heirloom variety that you would be able to save seeds from. So I just don't tend to shop at them as much, but it would be the same thing, you know, I go through and look at all the sections of things I can't grow. But sometimes they'll have like a nice mix of a lettuce that's got like 10 different varieties in it, and where Baker Creek may not have them all together, and I'd have to buy 10 different seed packs. So every now and then I will order a pack or two of seeds from Territorial Seed Company, but almost all of my seeds come from Baker Creek. So that's my process for planting the garden. I'm going to get a seed order off, and then it'll be back to just waiting about another 4 months for winter to be over and it actually be time to do something in the garden. Hopefully that's helpful if you guys are thinking about your own gardens, probably many of which can start long before mine. And if you're thinking out what to plant, what to grow, that's the most common question I see from new gardeners. What should I grow to start? Well, first you do need to figure out how warm your climate is, because if you live beside me and you try to plant tomatoes and corn and watermelon, you're going to be sadly discouraged and you're not going to get anything. But once you figure out your growing climate and you know how warm it is and what you would be able to grow because of that, grow things you like to eat. If you if you hate beets and you're just never going to eat them, don't plant beets. Use the space for something else in your garden. Or I could say learn to like beets. But basically, if you're not going to eat it, don't bother growing it. Pick things you like, things you already eat, things you already consume in your diet, and grow those things. So happy gardening. Hope that gives you guys some tips and ideas. Good luck as we all dream and wait for spring. Thanks for watching, folks. If you're interested in more info on my off-grid tiny house life, check out some of my other videos here. And if you like what you're seeing, click the little picture of my house to subscribe and then hit the little bell so YouTube actually notifies you every time there's a new video available. See y'all next time.